Hi, I am Rajeshri. I am going to explain the third experiment of the Unix lab, that is to do a shell script program using looping and branching statement. So the first program is to find whether the given number is Armstrong or not. So the name of the program which I have used is vi space arm.sh. So the program is as follows. At first I am asking the user to enter a number and it is stored in a variable called n, and we have another variable l which counts the number of digits. Hash is nothing but it counts the number of digits in the given number by the user. Here sum is initialized to 0, and we have another variable n number which holds the value of n. While $n is not equal to 0, the following operation takes place. Do remainder equal to $n modulo 10. So the value of n modulo 10 gets stored into a variable rem, and the value of n divided by 10 gets stored into the variable n. Remainder gives the first digit. Power equal to echo $remainder power $l. So the first digit is powered, gets powered with the variable l, that is it gets powered with the number of digits, and sum equal to $sum plus $power. It's stored into a variable called sum, and when sum equals to $num, we get it as an Armstrong number, or else it gets printed as it is not an Armstrong number. So let us run the program. So I am asked to enter a number. When I give 153, it gets printed as it is an Armstrong number, and if I give 123, it gets printed as it is not an Armstrong number. So the next program is to find whether the given number is prime or not. At first I am asking the user to enter a number, and it is stored in a variable n. We have three more variables: b equal to 0, c equal to 0, I is equal to 1. And while $i is less than $n, that is when the value of $i is less than the value of $n, the following operation takes place. C equal to echo $n modulo $i. So the value of $n modulo $i gets stored in the variable c. And when c is equal to 0, so when the remainder of n modulo I gets equal to 0, the following operation takes place. B equal to $b plus 1, that is b gets incremented and it is stored in a variable b. I equal to echo $i plus 1, I gets incremented and it is stored into a variable I. When $b is equal to 2, we get printed as prime number, or else it gets printed as it is not a prime number. So let us see the output. So I am asked to enter a number. When I give 2, it gets printed as prime number. Let us check for a number which is not a prime number. So I am giving 8, and it gets printed as it is not a prime number. The next program is to find whether the given number is perfect or not. So this is the program. At first I am asking the user to enter a number, and it is stored in a variable n. I equal to 1, it is a variable, and we have another variable sum which is initialized as 0. While $i is less than $n by 2, that is when the value of I is less than n by 2, the following operation takes place. If $n modulo I is equal to 0, so when the remainder of $n and I gets 0, the following operation takes place. Sum equal to sum plus 1. So the sum is initialized to 0, so 0 gets incremented, and this happens inside the if loop, and while loop gets stopped when I gets incremented. So if $sum is equal to $n, it gets printed as it is a perfect number, or else it gets printed as it is not a perfect number. So let us check the output. So 6 is a perfect number, and when I give 1, it is not a perfect number. So the next program is to find the factorial of a given number. So this is the code. At first I am asking the user to enter a number and it gets stored into a variable NO, and answer is initialized to 1, counter is initialized to 0. And while $NO is not equal to counter, the following operation takes place. Counter gets incremented by 1 and it is stored into a variable counter. Similarly, answer gets incremented by answer. We find the answer of answer and counter, that is, we multiply the numbers which is present in answer and counter, and it gets stored into the variable answer. And at last we get the factorial of the number by finding the value of answer. So let us check the program. Let me compile the program, and when I give 4, you can see the factorial of 4 is 24. The next program is to find the Fibonacci series of a number. So this is the code. At first I am asking the user to enter a number and I am storing the number into a variable A. Here we have 3 other variables, N1 which is initialized to 0, and N2 which is initialized to 1, and N3 is initialized to 2. And we are printing the numbers, so these will be the first 3 numbers of the series. And for I equal to 0, and we have a for loop over here, I equal to 3, I is less than A, that is when 3 is less than the number which the user enters, I gets incremented. N equal to the sum of the variables N1, N2 and N3, and N4 it's printed. So here happens a swapping process. N1 is the value of N1 will be N2, the value of N2 will be N3, and the value of N3 will be N4. This happens for all the numbers which we give. So let us see the output. I am entering a number, say 4. So this is the output. As I have said already, the first 3 numbers will be 0, 1, 2, and then the operation takes place. The next program is to find the square of numbers. At first I am asking the user to enter a number and it is stored into a variable n. Sum is initialized to 0, I is initialized to 1. While I is less than the number which the user enters, the following operation takes place. SQ is a variable and it stores the value of I into I. And sum is a variable which stores the value of sum plus the value which we get from SQ. And I is incremented by 1. So when all these operations are performed, we print the sum variable. So let us check the output. So I am entering a number, say 2. So the sum of first n numbers is 5. The next program is to find the grade of students. And so this is the program. At first I am asking the user to enter 5 subject marks, and it is stored into variables, namely A, B, C, D and E, and we calculate the sum, and average is calculated by sum divided by 5. Since we have 5 subjects over here, we divide the sum which we get from here by 5. and the average is displayed over here, and if the average is greater than 90 percentage, we print the grade as A, and it is an outstanding grade. Similarly, if the average is greater than 80, we print the grade as B, and it is good, very good. And if the average is greater than 70, we print the grade as C, and and we display the command keep it better. And similarly, or if we get other numbers other than the numbers which are greater than 70, 80 and 90, the grade will be D. Let us see the output. So let me enter 20, 30, 40, 50 and 100. So you can see the average of these 5 marks is 48, and the grade will be displayed as D, since it is not greater than 70, 80 or 90. The last program is to display the electricity bill. So at first I am asking the user to enter the name and enter the unit, and if the unit is greater than 200, then amount will be unit into 2. Else, if unit is less than 200 and unit is greater than 100, then amount will be unit into 1.50. Else, we print the amount as unit into 0.50, and at last the amount is printed over here. So let us check the output. So let me enter the name as Shri, and the unit is 210, and this will be the amount which gets printed. The amount is 420. So that's all. Thank you for watching.